Hey, it's Ed here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for Nasdaq. I'll cover wave analysis with Elliott Wave Theory and provide multiple scenarios the price may take and explain why I prefer one counter over another. Let's take a look at the different possibilities. Starting here on daily time frame on Nasdaq, and this has been the main idea that we've had, having this as a WXY coming down into the lows of June, and then again we have two different alterations for this structure over here. The first one is that we have a connector wave here, a three-way structure that is connecting this previous large wave structure into the next one here. The other option is that this three-way structure here is the first structure of that larger three-way structure, and instead of this being a five-way structure downwards, this would be a WXYZ, and then we would be creating this another leg upwards here. So both of them are possible still. This would be creating this larger WXY, which in time elements at least is going to be giving us, or it would be giving us a bit better look here for this whole correction, because again this would be a bit larger than this very small time frame correction here, and it gives more market symmetry overall. But again, both of them are definitely possible, and that's why we are tracking both of them. Now let's zoom into this first scenario in which again we had the X wave completed at the highs of that 13.7k. In this one again we had a three-way structure up in there and completed. Now in this one again the idea was that we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 five-way structure coming down into an A wave. Again, as the higher time frame expectation is a wave Y, we are looking for a three-way structure or a double or triple correction. At the moment we don't need to be worrying about those scenarios at the moment, because again we're just creating a possible five-way structure here. So the next structure that we could be connecting it to is another five-way structure. We need some kind of connector in the middle though to create this zigzag pattern. Within this we have a few different options here. Either we have the whole connector completed already here, where we had a very small structure formed here in time. If we are comparing it again, the time element, we can be seeing here that we are not even anywhere close to the 38.2 that we generally want to see the time to go to around at least. Again, as this is a B wave, these can definitely take a larger time. However, as this is a wave A of a zigzag, it generally takes up to the similar time of that A wave in time for that B wave up to. So there is definitely a room to grow here still, but we'll see how it turns out. Again, Nasdaq has been one of the most or the least bullish structures there. We have most of them we did go beyond the 10% or 12%. I think Dow had 15%, same as Russell 14%. And S&P 500 was around somewhere in the middle of these, with the structures from the lows, how much we actually pumped. But Nasdaq is the worst or the most bearish here, because again we have retraced so much of this move here to these current lows that we are going to most likely see some kind of differentiation between all of the indices once this possible B wave is done. Of course, it is possible that is done already in here, and on S&P 500 that is very possible, as we could be getting a five-way structure in there, while again these highs were the highest, so we could actually get a starting structure from here. But we'll look into this smaller structure in just a moment. Before that, let's take a look at the connector structure, the other possibility. So again, with this one in mind, we had the wave W here, and then a three-way structure into an A wave, W, X, Y, X, Z. This last leg here definitely feels more like a five-way structure than a three-way structure, but if we need to be labeling it as a three-way structure, this is the way to do it, like that. Otherwise, again, it feels more like a five-way structure, so that's why I somewhat prefer the other option. Here we have retraced around the 1.236 retracement of this A wave for that wave B, and that is definitely one of the targets for expanded structures or expanded flats or running flats. We have some targets here ranging from 14.2k to 13.1k. This is a large area, but again we need to be tracking what kind of structure we are getting off of these lows. Now, with this in mind, let's zoom in a bit, and we have, for this count, we have to be bullish, as in a 5-way structure, because again, the expectation is that we have this as an A, B, and then looking for a C wave. So C wave is always a 5-way structure, and for that, again, we need to be having this bullish scenario. So let's cover that first. The only way I see a bullish scenario on this on Nasdaq is a diagonal here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. It is an okay look. The third, however, is very much smaller in time compared to the last one. And on the last one, we get quite a large overthrow here for the 5th. Again, this is very much possibility. However, it's not the best. We do have this double divergence forming from the 1st to 3rd to 5th. So that is also a very nice thing to see here, always on these diagonals. Since the highs, I've labeled this as an ABC, another ABC, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, and 5. So to me, that looks pretty good as an ABC, creating the end for that wave too. In validation for this whole idea, if we come back to below the 10.5k area, which again, the wave 2 would go below the starting point of this wave 1, and at that point, we can no longer be bullish on this. Now, the structures of these lows, these current lows that we have had, is very, very overlapping. So I feel like we need to be getting some kind of diagonal in here as well. Say it's very similar to the first structure over here if we want to be bullish. So that's that. That's the bull scenario, and if we want to be keeping on going higher. The best scenario is this one. Again, to remind you, we are looking for a B wave here, and the invalidation for this would be these tops here around 13.7k. A lot of ways to go still to that point, but again, if we are going to go beyond the golden pocket here around 12.5k, then the is more likely that we are actually more bullish, and maybe this count is not the right one. But up to that point, both these scenarios are still very much valid. For this one, how I've labeled this is a 3-way structure into wave W, 3 ways into X, and then another 3-way structure here into wave Y. So it is very similar. Again, all of these are very overlapping, so that's why we had the diagonal as the only possibility for a bullish count. And again, the very internal structures here are very much the same as with the bullish structure as well. This is just the way we can be labeling this as a WXY. The only thing that I don't like about this is the highs that we had for the wave Y here is not higher than the ones that we had for W. So that's why I kind of like the other one a bit better at this point here on smaller time frame. Since then, again, we had another ABC, and then 5-way structure coming down for that C wave, ending that B wave. Again, this structure here is exactly the same, a structure like that. We have retraced around the 90% area here, which is making this count a bit more likely, because again, generally we don't want to be seeing a golden pocket punctured for the wave 2s. However, again, they are only invalidated when they come below the starting points of wave 1, so that they are still valid. This structure here in time comparison is again more favored to the bull count, because again this wave B is smaller than wave A. Generally we want to be seeing a very much larger wave B, and at that point when we are crossing the 1-to-1 extension in time, at that point we could be more towards the B count, or the substructure basically. But at this moment we did not get beyond that, so we are still looking like the bull count is a bit favored here. The expectation here is that we're going to be getting a C wave here, as we again retrace to around the 90% retracement, so the flat area or flat possibility here is much more possible. Of course, it is still possible to create a WXY. There's no bad things, or there's no issue with that either. Again, this structure here is very much overlapping, so it is very hard to get this into a bullish one. The only way, again, we would have to have this as some kind of diagonal. We'll see how that goes. we definitely need to get some kind of pullback before we are starting to get that possible third, fourth and fifth later on, if that even is going to be happening. Again, today and this week is going to be the midterms, and then later on this week I think the CPI data. So those are at least going to give us some more volatility here, and hopefully resolve this mess that we are currently having here. But I think that is pretty much all the things I wanted to say for Nasdaq at this moment. If you made it far into the video, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below. And for now, I thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you in the next video. Bye bye.